Today's tech tip. If you have to tap cast iron, run the tap dry. I've tapped plenty of more modern engine blocks, like your Gen 3 Hemis, LSs to make new bolts or put in bolts for accessory drives that the block didn't originally come with. Never had this issue. I would use my Tap Magic or some PB Blaster, send a tap, no problem. It cuts pretty nice. Pretty much like cutting steel or anything else. It's hard, but there wasn't big issues. Whereas today, if I can show you this, notice how dull most of those teeth are. This was brand new. It did one hole, and after one hole, it was so dull, it wasn't doing any more. And at that point, I was a little frustrated. I called Danny. Thanks a million to Danny for giving me the advice. He's been building engines literally longer than I've been alive. So when he told me that run the tap dry and you'll be fine, I'm like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And lo and behold, it worked great. So I went from getting this thing going in like a quarter to a half turn, having to back it out, clean it out, re-lube it, and just put all kinds of pressure. It was making me nervous the whole time. I was able to go in 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch in a shot and be done quick and easy. The effort was lower. It worked out great. I couldn't be happier. The application was the FE motor that I was doing the mods before. So if you look right here, these are all now converted to these screw-in plug taps. The other ones were just a press-in style, like all these other holes. And even with these internal ones, I've seen them get staked and push out. And the advantage of if an internal one goes, it doesn't pump all the oil out of your engine in a quick hurry too. At least the oil goes back into the motor where it can get recycled. You're definitely gonna lose some oil pressure, and it's not gonna be good to keep running it, but it gives you a little bit of, it gives you a minute at least. If you notice, the other holes are just too thin to tap, except for maybe 1 or 2 of them. Yeah, there's really just one towards the front by the distributor, and the one in the very front of the block behind the cam. You could do that one as well if you really wanted to go nuts. Especially if you're doing like a high RPM, high race with a high volume pump, that would be an even bigger concern to try and get as many of them you can. On the ones where you're going to stake them in, probably even better to run some Loctite sealing, locking compound for press fits around them, just to make sure they don't back out. Also, if you're going to do this kind of a mod, you can do it on more than just these Fords. You can do it with small block Chevys, a whole bunch of other motors. Just remember that when you're tapping in, and you put the pipe tap or the pipe plug itself in there where you just tapped out, make sure it doesn't go so far in that it blocks the an oil galley behind it. They do, for some of those kits where they do that with some of the other makes and models, they even have extra thin pipe plugs for that application. So just do your due diligence. But that's my advice. Cast iron, dry tap is all win. Take care.